Shabbat Shalom, Rabbi Nickerson.
Shabbat Shalom, Cantor Gurney. Shabbat Shalom, Popkin, the Popkin family. Cantor Gurney, how are you this morning?
There's Francesca.
Hi.
Shabbat Shalom.
Morning.
And there's Wendy. And there's Seth.
The gang is all.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Gang is here. Shabbat Shalom.
How do I get in, Francesca?
All right, so before we get started, for those of you who are joining us, if you want to follow along in the Siddur, you can find that on our website at WBTLA/WBT at home. And then on the sidebar, there is there's a link that says where you can go services at home, and you can find the prayer book right below the player there. So you'll be able to find the prayer book and you can follow along as we go through our morning service today. And of course, as Francesca becomes bat mitzvah, nothing better. I'm in the sanctuary. I got access.
Oh, we're so envious. That looks beautiful. I should have brought like one of those cardboard things of myself and put it behind you.
Oh, next time.
Joel, I didn't know that you were an organist because it looks to me like you're sitting at the 4100 pipe organ.
Oh, but if you look behind me, I'm in the back. I'm in the nosebleeds.
Oh, you're in the balcony.
I'm in the balcony. Always in the balcony. Best seats
in the house.
Exactly. So Cantor Gurney, how are we going to start off this morning?
Oh, like we always do with Hine Matov, the words of the psalmist, and they're so acutely appropriate these days. How good it is for us to be together any way we can, right? So let's join together in song. All of you at home, sing along, please. Hine Matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine Matov u'manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנהים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנהים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב. La 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 la. Hine matov, hine matov. La 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 la. Hine matov manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov manayim, shevet achim gam yachad.
How wonderful it is for us to gather together. And our service begins on page 173 if you're following along. And the morning service always begins, Francesca was mentioning before we got started how she woke up once in the middle of the night. I woke up once in the middle of the night. We woke up for probably different reasons. I don't have the same kind of nerves as someone becoming bat mitzvah. However, the rabbis a long time ago felt that there was a piece of us that wasn't really alive when we were sleeping. And that when we woke up in the morning, it's as if we were reborn. And every day we are supposed to imagine that it is a new life that we are being given. And in addition to our new life, it's about the recognition of our bodies and the essential nature of our bodies working the way they work. And in this day and age, how grateful we can be, those of us who are healthy right now, that our bodies are working the way they're supposed to be working. So we begin with a couple of prayers about our body and our souls returning to us and their purity. So we begin on the bottom of 173 in the English. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe. With divine wisdom, you have made our bodies, combining veins, arteries, and vital organs into a finely balanced network. Wondrous maker and sustainer of life, were one of them to fail, how well we are aware we would lack the strength to sustain life before you. Blessed are you, Adonai, source of our health and strength.
Baruch atah Adonai, rofei chol basar umafli la'asot.
And the next page for our souls returning to us. The soul that you have given me, O God, is pure. You created and you formed it, breathed it into me, and within me you sustain it. So long as I have breath, therefore, I will give thanks to you, my God and God of all ages, source of all being, guide of every human spirit.
Baruch atah Adonai, asher biyado nefesh kol chai, v'ruach kol bisarish. Now we're going to invite Francesca to lead us in the Nisim B'chol Yom, these morning blessings that thank and praise God for the miracles, big and small, of every day of our lives. So Francesca, you're going to lead us beginning on page 177, and we'll respond with Amen.
Okay.
Okay.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamavi'ir sheina minai, u'tnumai afapai.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani b'tzelem Elohim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani bat chorim.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asani Yisrael.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, ozer Yisrael b'gvura.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, oter Yisrael b'gvura.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, v'tivanu l'asok b'divrei Torah.
Amen. Beautifully done. Thank you, Francesca.
Wonderful. And just as we ended those Nisim B'chol Yom with the blessing to engage in the study of Torah, on the next page, on page 180, we have a list that our tradition has said are the important things that we must do, and that Torah encompasses all of them. These are the things that are limitless, of which a person enjoys the fruits of the world, while the principle remains in the world to come. They are honoring one's father and mother, engaging in deeds of compassion, arriving early for study morning and evening, dealing graciously with guests, visiting the sick, providing for the wedding couple, accompanying the dead for burial, being devoted in prayer, and making peace among people. But the study of Torah encompasses them all.
We'll continue now on page 188. We chant these words from Psalm 150, the last of all of the Hebrew Psalms. And the last phrase is, let everything that has life, that everything that has breath, praise God. Hallelujah, 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 bekotsho, hallelujah, birkia uzo, hallelujah, bivorotav, hallelujah, kerov gudulo. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Karachama te hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Karachama te hallelujah, hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Wonderful. We continue on the top of page 193. Oh God, your name is holy and exalted. The psalmist has said, rejoice in Adonai, you righteous, praise suits the upright. In the mouths of the upright you should be praised, and in the words of the righteous you should be blessed. In the tongue of the faithful you should be exalted, and in the midst of the holy you should be sanctified. In the multitude of assemblies of your people, the house of Israel, your name is to be glorified in joy, O our sovereign one.
Ishtabach shimcha ad malkeinu, ha'el המלך הגדול והקדוש בשמיים ובארץ, ברוך אתה אדוני, אל מלך גדול בתשבחות, אל ההודעות אדוני נפלאות, הבוחר בשירי זמרה, מלך חי העולמים. יתקדש שמי רבה, ויעלמד יברך חירותי וימליך מלכותי, וחייכון ובימיכון וחיי כל בית ישראל, בהגלה ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך, לעולם ולעלמי עלמיה יתברך. יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי לקודשה. בריחו לעילה מן כובדה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, כאמירם בעלמא, ואמרו amen. For those who can, we rise now for the Baruch Hu. For those who can't, we remain seated. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Yotzer Or Uverei Choshech Oseh Shalom Uvorei et HaKol.
On the top of page 196, the world is sunlight restoring the soul, rejoicing the heart, bringing light to the eyes, more welcome than gold. A Torah from heaven. I have no light to give the morning, my Torah, my special human gift is words. As I bring my words forth from silence, welcome them, you who redeems the sun from darkness.
Baruch Ata Adonai Yotzer HaMeorot. Amen.
Amen. The next prayer is about love, because if you remember, the Shema is basically hugged by two prayers of love. After the Shema, Francesca will lead us in Ve'ahavta, but before the Shema, we have a prayer of love also. And I just wanted to share a quick moment, a story that from last night, Cantor Gurney, I think you'll appreciate this, as we were talking before services about walking in the neighborhood. So we got a dog recently, and so my oldest daughter and I were taking her on a walk last night, right after dark, or as dark was coming on, and we were walking along the street, and I heard some singing from someone's porch. And so I said, come on, Ella, let's go check it out. And so we stood across the street as a man stood on his balcony, singing Lachado D. And so we joined in. And so here was a modern Orthodox guy singing Lachado D from his balcony. You got the Reformed Jews standing across the street singing Lachado D. Then an ultra-Orthodox man and his son came walking down the middle of the street, and they started singing Lachado D with us. And it was this beautiful moment of all of us finding our connection and our love to our tradition, finding a connection and love to our neighborhood, and not being ashamed of that, and finding commonality. And what we need in this world right now is a love of commonality, of common purpose, of common strength. And so for me, it was such an inspirational moment that I just had last night. So I wanted to share that as we lead in now to the Shema, which is about listening to our own potential within each of us to find that love and to tap in. So we continue with Shema.
Israel Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kavod leolam vaed. Now, Francesca, we're going to invite you forward to lead us in the chanting of the Ve'ahavta. Whenever you're ready.
Thanks.
There you go.
Daddy, what did you do?
I didn't do anything.
You did something.
No, you're ready. We can hear you.
Ready, we can see you and hear you.
Something happened on the screen.
So everyone at home, sing along with Francesca. You too, Seth.
You too, Seth. See?
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך וחיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננת לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם להיות על ידיך וחיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתיכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Beautifully chanted, Francesca. Thank you. Rabbi, I turn it back to you. I think those at home may want to join in the English translation with you.
Yes. Together, bottom of 201. Love Adonai, your God, with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at work, whether you are tired or you are rested. Let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They are reminders to do all of my mitzvot, so that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai, your God. I led you out of Egypt to become your God. I am Adonai, your God.
We'll continue now, all singing in full voice together, the song of our journey, the song of freedom, Mi Chamocha, on page 204. Mi Chamocha ba'elim Adonai, Mi Kamocha nedar ba'kodesh, Norat hilot o sefer shira chadasha shibechu giurim neshimecha asefat hayam yachad kulam oduvim li Amru Adonai Himloch Leolam Vaed. So Israel, Kuma be'ezrat Israel, Ufedechinu mecha Yehuda v'Yisrael, Ko'aleinu Adonai Tzevot Shemo Kadosh Yisrael Baruch Ata Adonai Ba'al Yisrael.
Amen. We now turn to the Amidah. It begins, our standing prayer begins on page 205. And of course, Francesca, with that beautiful voice, is going to lead us in the opening prayers of the Amidah.
Avot and Givurot, Francesca. You
Okay. Adonai Sefer Tiftahu V'yagi Tehilater Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Ve'Elohei Avotenu V'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzhak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor Ve'Hanora El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim, Bechonei Hakol, Bezocher Stei Avot V'Imot, Umevei Gula, Lifnei V'neihem, Leman Shemo Le'ahava, Melech Hosea U'Mashiach U'Magin Baruch Atah Adonai, Magin Avraham V'Zat Sarah. Atagi por le'olam Adonai, mechaya kol atah, rav le'oshia, marid hatah, mechayel chayim bechesed, mechayei hakol berachamim rabim, zomech noflim ve'ofei cholim, umatir asurim, umechayim be'emunato, b'shenei afar. Michamocha bal gevurot, umidom elav, melech lemitu mechayei, umasmiach Yeshua, v'nanim b'nata lechayot hakom, baruch atah Adonai mechayei hakol.
Amen. We continue with the Kedusha at the bottom of page 208. Nikadesh et shimcha ba'olam, כשם שמקישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב ויניח וקרא זה לזה ויאמר, קדוש, קדוש, קדוש אדוני צבאות, מלוך על הארץ כבודו. Adir adirenu, Adonai Adonenu, Madir shimecha bechol haaretz, Baruch kevod Adonai mimekomo, Echad hu Eloheinu. Avinu, Malkeinu, Moshienu, Vehu Yashmienu. Yashmienu v'rachamav b'nei kol chai. Ani Adonai Elohechem, imloch Adonai leolam, Elohayich Zion, לדור ודור, הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד לך, ונצח נצחים קדושתך נקיש, ושבחך עלינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
Amen. We take a moment of just silent reflection and silent prayer.
In a moment, we'll conclude this section on page 211 for those who have access to the text of the prayer book with this joyous song, The Joy of Shabbat, Yismechu, an old Hasidic tune. I'm sure many of you know it, remember it. Yismechu v'malechutecha, shomre, shomre, shomre Shabbat, l'koreyonek Shabbat. Yismechu v'malechutecha, shomre, shomre, shomre Shabbat, l'koreyonek Shabbat. Mekadoshei, Mekadosh bi Shabbat, kulam yismeru v'yitangu mitovecha Shabbat. Yismeru v'malechutecha, shomre, shomre, shomre Shabbat, l'koreyonek Shabbat. Yismeru v'malechutecha, shomre, shomre, shomre Shabbat, l'koreyonek Shabbat. V'hashvi'i ratzita bo, v'kidashto Shabbat. Chemdat yamim, oto karata Shabbat. Yismechu v'malechutecha, shomre, shomre, shomre Shabbat, l'koreyonek Shabbat. Yismechu v'malechutecha, shomre, shomre, shomre Shabbat, l'koreyonek Shabbat. Zecher, zecher, lema'aseh bereshit Shabbat. Zecher, zecher, lema'aseh bereshit Shabbat. Yismechu v'malechutecha, shomre, shomre, shomre Shabbat, l'koreyonek Shabbat. Yismechu v'malechutecha, shomre, shomre, shomre Shabbat, l'koreyonek Shabbat.
Love it. Love the joy.
Gotta have it.
Yeah, have to have it. We now, even more joyous, the Torah service. Doesn't get better than the Torah service. It
No,
begins
it
on
doesn't.
page 244.
Ein kamocha v'Elohim Adonai, ve'en kemasecha, malchutecha, malchut kol olamim, u'memshaltecha b'chol dor v'dor. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Adonai oz li'amo yited. Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. Arachamim etiva v'irtzoncha et Zion. Kivenech homot Yerushalayim. Kivenech homot Yerushalayim. Kivechak levad batachlu, melech el ram v'nisa. Adon olamim, ki mitzion tetzeh Torah, ki mitzion tetzeh Torah, udavar Adonai mirushalayim. Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, Baruch shenatan Torah, Torah, le'amo Yisrael, b'kedusha Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo, Gadol Adonai iti, Uneromema Shemo Yachtav.
So Francesca, before you give your Devar Torah and then we chant Torah, I want to try something. So Francesca, hand the Torah booklet to your father.
Okay.
Okay. And you're okay. So usually when we are gathered in the sanctuary, which is behind me, there's a really important piece of this whole ceremony, and that is the passing down of the Torah from generation to generation. Now, clearly you don't have an actual physical Torah scroll in your home, but one of the most important things that we need to remember is that Torah means teaching. And so whether it's in a booklet or whether it's a scroll or whether it's the memories of your family, what is being passed down to you right now is the Torah of your family's history. And so what I want to see is for your father to pass it to your mother and for them to pass that booklet to you, because yes, that is your Torah right now. And included in that also is your Devar Torah, your words of Torah. So I want us to see you pass down from your parents, Josh and Wendy, to pass down their tradition and their Torah to you. So please.
And Rabbi Nickerson, if you can see me on the screen there, I happen to have a Torah right here in my hands.
Right.
So imagine that you're holding this scroll. I'll pass it to you, Josh. And you can pass it to Wendy and your children. I'm giving it to you right virtually through the screen.
Hey,
This is the receiving of the Torah.
love it. So Francesca, now that the Torah has been passed down to you, physically and virtually, please share your words of Torah with us. Teach us about this week's Torah portion.
Okay. Well, let's see. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
My Parsha, Torah portion, the Shmini, is about Moses' instructions to Aaron and his sons to bring special offerings to the sanctuary. The Israelites would use these offerings to ask God for forgiveness for their sins. They would give these offerings during an 8-day ceremony to celebrate the creation of the portable sanctuary that the Israelites used to connect to God as they wandered through the desert. However, when Aaron's sons, Nadab and Abihu, attempt to give an extra offering that was not asked for, God rejects their offering. As it says, "And fire came forth from the Eternal and consumed them." God punishes them with death. In my Torah portion, it talks about how God expected the Israelites to ask for forgiveness, usually by giving up something of value, such as a goat or a calf or a lamb. These animals were sacrificed on an altar to God. I believe that God did not accept these additional offerings from Aaron's sons when they tried to make a sacrifice because they did not atone in a way that God had asked them to. This makes me think about how we apologize for our sins, bad behavior, and hurtful acts today. It makes me think about how we ask for forgiveness, not just from God, but from family, friends, and teachers. In my world, when my friends and I disagree or have a fight, we make each other grovel at the other person's feet for a day, and it doesn't feel good. Better than sacrificing an animal? Sure. However, we can do better. Another example is when I hit my brother after he hits me, obviously, and my mom tells me to apologize. I say, "Sorry, I never really mean it though." He knows, and my mom knows, and I've not fooled anyone. I understand where God is coming from, because if someone just says, "Sorry," will you believe them? Probably not, because today this is kind of used as a throwaway comment. So God asks for physical proof of being sorry. Sacrificing animals was a common form of atonement. We shouldn't have to buy our way to forgiveness by sacrificing something, buying a gift, or taking a big action. To apologize, we need to use our words, and we need to use them in a way that truly expresses our feelings. For example, in the case with a fight with a friend, the best way to apologize would be to say, "I'm so sorry that I said that hurtful thing to you. I was upset and the words just flew out of my mouth before I realized how painful they would be to you. In the future, I will think before I speak. Please accept my apology. So here are the steps I think we each need to take. First, we should state the wrongdoing or hurtful action to show that we fully understand what we did was not correct or unkind. Second, we should offer a sincere apology. Words and body language both convey sincerity. If in person we have an opportunity not to just to say words, but to show that we mean them, we should take it. In written words, we must be incredibly careful with what words we choose to write. Some words and phrases are loaded with hidden meanings that make our apology seem hypocritical or empty and meaningless. Let's all remember Aaron's sons, Nadab and Abihu, and the price they paid for an inappropriate apology. An apology definitely not accepted. Words may be our only offering, so please be careful in the words you choose. Words carry strong messages that can change lives forever. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat
Shalom, Francesca.
Wonderful. Great message. Thank you. Thank you for that teaching. All right. And now it's time for us to hear you chant some Torah.
So for the first Aliyah, I believe we're going to call Josh. Yeah? All right. So Josh, Torah blessing for you to begin.
I was not prepared.
What?
Find your Torah blessings in there.
Okay.
It'll be right before your Torah portions.
Says Torah blessing. Says Torah blessing.
In the Torah booklet, Francesca, if you
Yeah,
look at
there's the
Torah
Torah blessings.
booklet to the front of it,
Yeah.
so flip it around to the other side.
So after it says taking the Torah from the ark, the next one.
No, this should be in your Torah reading booklet.
After
Yeah.
No,
reading
that's
the
not my
Torah,
booklet. The booklet is
Oh,
this thing.
Yep. So in the front of that.
Here.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
blessing.
There
Reading.
Mhm.
So mom and dad, can you give those blessings for us
Sure.
from Baruch Hu?
Bless Adonai who is blessed. Blessed is Adonai who is blessed now and forever. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who has chosen us from among the peoples and given us the Torah. Blessed are you, Adonai, who gives the Torah.
And we're going to ask our whole community out there listening now to join in the Hebrew of this blessing together. Let's all join with me. Baruch hu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai havorach leolam vaed. Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim. Natan lanu et Torato. Baruch ata Adonai. Torah. And now a nice amen from you, Francesca. For those following in our Chumash, we're on page 709. We're in the book of Leviticus, chapter 10. It's all yours, Francesca.
Okay. Amen. Vaychu v'nei acharon. Nadav avichu ish machtatov. Vayitnu v'chein esh v'yasimu alecha ketorah. V'yakrivu lifnei Adonai esara. Asher lo tzivautam v'tetzesh milifnei Adonai v'tochalotam v'yamutu lifnei Adonai v'yomer Moshe nachavon asher diber Adonai lemor B'kavai kadesh, ve'ofnei chohai kaved, v'yito acharon, v'yikrav Moshe, v'mishael be'el tzafa, v'nei Uziel dod acharon, v'yomer alechem,
Beautifully done. And then, Mom and Dad, if you read the blessing after.
Yeah, it's the same thing here.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'kaye olam nata v'hotakenu Baruch atah Adonai notan haTorah.
Amen. You know, this is always the bar bat mitzvah's favorite moment in the service, when the parents have to sing. Right?
Oh,
You seem to be enjoying that in a very delicious way.
we don't have our daughter's beautiful singing voice.
That's quite all right. That's quite all right. All right, now Francesca, for portion number 2. Portion.
Oh, already? Okay.
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 And we're going to ask our community to join now, this time in the blessing before and the blessing after. So all those listening, friends, relatives, join with me. Baruch hu et Adonai, Baruch Adonai, Baruch ata Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'na'atan lanu et torato. Baruch ata Adonai, noten ha'torah. And now portion number 2, Francesca.
Yeah. Amen. Vayikrevu, vayisa'um bechutonotam, u'michutz ha'machaneh asher diber Moshe. Vayomer Moshe l'Aharon u'Elazar u'Itamar banav v'shechem lo tifrau u'v'gdechem lo tifrau ve'lo tamatu ve'al ha'ida yitzu v'chechem hu beit Yisrael yikhu et ha'sefer asher sarach Adonai u'mipetach u'chamoed lo tetze'un pentamutu yishemen yishchat Adonai alechem vayasu yibar Moshe.
Beautifully done. And now all together. Baruch ata Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chaye olam natan. Baruch ata Adonai, noten haTorah. So in a moment, Francesca, I'm going to call you to the Torah as bat mitzvah. But first, I want you to share with us your Hebrew name. Can you tell us your Hebrew name?
Yeah, my Hebrew name is Vega.
Vega, from the Yiddish, right? Right? And Josh, what is your Hebrew name? I'm going to guess Yehoshua, but it might be wrong.
You would be correct.
Yehoshua. And Wendy?
Vichna.
Zichna?
No, Vichna with a V.
Oh, Vichna. All right. We're going to have to do some research on that. So, Francesca, Vega, Bat Yehoshua, the Vichna. And now I'm going to call you to the Torah as bat mitzvah. Tamod, Tamod, Habachur bat mitzvah. Vega bat Yehoshua v'vichna. And now, you will chant for us Torah blessings, and then your final Torah portion.
Okay. Okie dokie. Okay. Baruch et Adonai hamvorach.
We recite
Baruch
Adonai Avorach
Le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen.
tamutu, ukatolam v'jortechem, ulavdil ben hakodesh, uvein hakol, uvein hatamei, uvein hatahor, utorot et b'nei Yisrael, et huhakim, asher diber Adonai alechem ve'ad Moshe.
Beautiful. Then the blessing after.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu torat emet, v'chayei olam beto.
Nata.
Nata b'Eloheinu
Here we go.
Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. And a song of joy. Congratulations. Simen tov, mazel tov, simen tov, mazel tov, simen tov, mazel tov. Yehelanu, ulecho Yisrael. Yehelanu, ulecho Yisrael. Mazel tov to you, Francesca. Beautiful.
Mazel tov, mazel tov, mazel tov.
And now, Francesca, in a moment we'll ask you to chant your section of the Haftarah for us. For those following the Chumash, it's on page 729. 729. Okay, it's from the second book of Samuel, right?
Okay.
And you'll start with the blessing before the Haftarah,
Yes.
and the Haftarah, and then the blessings after.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar b'neviim tovim, v'ratza v'divrei hanemarim emet. Baruch atah Adonai abocher b'Torah ובמשה יעבדו, ובישראל עמו, ובנביאי האמת בצדק.
Okay.
ויוסף דוד, והיה דוד את כל בחור בישראל, 30,000. ויקום וילך דוד כל העם אשר איתו מבלך יהודה להעלות משם את ארון אלוהים אשר נקרא Shem Adonai Nevaot Yoshev HaKeruvim Alav Vayakivu Et Aron Elohim El Hagala HaKadashah Vayisau Mibeit Avinadav Asher Bagivah Be'uzah Ve'achyo B'nei Avinadav Nohagim Et Hagala Chadashah Vayisau Mibeit Avinadav Asher Bagivah Imaron Elohim Elchyo Olech Lifnei Aron David Lechol Beit Yisrael Mesachakim Lifnei Adonai Bechol Atzei V'Roshim Uchinara Uvim Valim, Uvtupim, Uvim Naim, Uvtzatzalim.
Beautifully done. And now the blessings after a quick sip of water.
Water.
I'm good.
Okay.
Baruch
Baruch.
Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam v'kol ha'olamim tzadik b'chol hadorot al hane'eman haomer ve'oseh hamedaber u'mekayem shechol darav v'emet v'tzedek al haTorah ve'al havodah ve'al hanevim yom ha'Shabbat hazeh shana tatalanu Adonai Eloheinu l'kedushav u'limnucha lechavod u'litifaret al hakol Adonai Eloheinu אנחנו מודים לה ומברכים אותה יתברך שמך לפי חוקי תמיד לעולם ועד ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
Amen.
Beautiful.
Especially loved, Francesca, your little additional improvisational twist words in that bracha. They were beautiful.
Loved it.
Beautiful. Rabbi Nickerson.
Yes. Oh, wonderful. So in a minute, I want to ask your parents to offer you a blessing, Francesca, but I just want to say, along with what Cantor Gurney was just mentioning, God brought the world into being with words. And I imagine that God almost sung the world into being. And I think, and as the Cantor can attest to, there's something about music and about song that can lift us up and touch us in a way that words alone can't. And you have a voice that I hope you continue to hone, to use throughout your life to lift people up, because it is beautiful. And not only is your voice beautiful, but you have depth and intelligence behind it. So by you combining both the beauty of your voice and the intellect of your mind, you have the capacity to make this world a better place. So I hope that you continue to do that as you continue to grow into a Jewish adult. And the other thing I want to mention is the fact that we're doing this over Zoom, right? You showed me at one of our meetings, since you're an ice skater, a figure skater, that your parents had bought you an adaptation so that you could go to the park when we were still able to go to the park, and you put these rollers on the skates. So it's as if you could be skating on concrete instead of on ice. And the Jews are just like that. There is a sense of adaptation, of seeing the world and what we've been given and figuring out a way to adapt to it. And what you are doing right now is you are adapting to a setting that none of us could have planned for. And yet you continued to go forward, skating right into this bat mitzvah with strength and vitality. And you were saying basically, I'm not going to let the world shut down my opportunity to become a bat mitzvah. I am still going to find a way to adapt. And I think that if you can continue to do that throughout your life and recognize the value of adaptation, the value of being able, when presented with a fork in the road, even if you weren't ready for a fork in the road, that you have the power and the responsibility to choose how you are going to move forward and to adapt. And you've already shown and proven that you can do that with this process. And I hope you can maintain that through the rest of your life, because if you can, not only will you strengthen your own life, but you'll be able to teach a valuable lesson to the people around you. So congratulations, Mazel Tov and Yashar Koach on this wonderful accomplishment. And now I want to turn it over to your parents if they have a brief blessing that they want to offer you at this time.
Well, I just think, Francesca, we're very proud of you and how you did adapt to the changes. We had everything set up, ready, very excited, and then the issues arose, and you, rather than just lock yourself away and be sad about it. You took it in stride and did what needed to be done. And we're very proud of you for that. And we couldn't be happier.
Wendy?
I would say much the same, and we love you, and we know how much hard work this was, and we respect that you chose to go ahead with this today, and we thank you for being brave and doing that, giving up the party and all the other things that you were looking forward to, because we talked about what really matters today, and what really matters is being here together with you and our family virtually. To be able to have this very special day, and that's what really matters. So thank you, and Mazel Tov, Francesca.
Thank you.
Mazel tov.
Would you like to say something?
Yeah, hey Seth, don't you have anything to say to your sister?
I want to say something that when Francesca first got her ice skate, I thought she would be really scared, but she didn't, and she was going fast.
See, you're proud of your sister, right?
Thank you, Seth.
Very nice. Now, Wendy and Josh, if you could put your arms on your daughter's shoulders or her hair, but I don't know if you want to mess with the hair. And virtually the Cantor and I are doing the same, as we want to offer Francesca, we want to offer you this ancient blessing, a blessing that God willing, you will be offered under the chuppah one day, and God willing, when you have children of your own, that you will also be able to offer this blessing, but with your parents by your side and with the voice of the Cantor, we want to offer you this blessing. Francesca, may God bless you and protect you.
Yair Adonai, panav elecha v'chunecha.
May God's light shine on you constantly and comfort you.
Yisar Adonai, panav elecha, v'yasem lecha shalom, shalom.
And may God always turn to you and bring you a lifetime and your family a lifetime of peace. Amen.
Amen. Mazel tov.
Amen.
Mazel.
Amen.
In a moment, we're going to do our concluding prayers, Aleinu and then Mourner's Kaddish. But I just want to say one more thing about this week's Torah portion, because Francesca, you talked a lot about Nadav and Abihu, a really fascinating story about this alien fire. And I loved your teaching about the message of what does it mean to say sorry. There's another really important and fascinating part of your Torah portion, which is all about the laws of kashrut. There are two sections in the Torah where we hear about the laws of kashrut, of keeping kosher, and your Torah portion has the first one. And I don't know if people are aware, but kosher means fit or proper, right? So something is kosher is fit or proper. It's not necessarily that a rabbi slaughtered it. The concept of kashrut is about what is fit and proper. And in today's context, I'm thinking about how we're starting to get inklings that before we know it, we're going to be going back out into society. And at least certain parts of the country are going to be doing that sooner than others. But we are, I think, going to start to get the utzies of wanting to get out there, right? And there was an interesting article that my wife showed me about how when we get out there again, the country is going to bombard us with all the things, telling us about all the things that we need to do to be happy, to find fulfillment, to forget about everything that just happened as if it was a bad dream, right? And we have that capacity to forget things in the past. But what I want to think about is, what does it mean to go into the transition? Because I think we need to all start figuring out how we're going to transition back out into society now so that we can be prepared. What is the fit and proper way to do that? How can we make sure that we aren't overwhelmed by all the pressures that are going to be on us to act a certain way, to buy certain things, to do certain things. And instead, can we take the time right now to really figure out what is kosher to me? What is fit and proper in my life? Because we are on the most incredible Shabbats of all Shabbats right now, like a Shabbat that is lasting us. And we're not necessarily just sitting around and resting this whole time, but this is a giant pause on our lives. And we have the opportunity to really reflect on what matters, because we're not going out and shopping a lot, and we're not going out and going to entertainment facilities. This is a time where we have the opportunity to really reflect on what matters to us. And I hope that every single person takes that opportunity to really reflect, what is fit and proper to me? What are my priorities? What are my values? So that when we go back out into society and when we are released from the safer at home, we don't get caught up in the tornado of what other people want us to do or to experience, but that we have had time to realize what really matters and we can stay grounded. Because if we don't stay grounded, we're going to fly off the rails and go in all kinds of directions. But now is the time to feel really grounded. And for me, kashrut is not just about what we put in our body, but it's about how we ground ourselves and find what is fit and proper for us. Because this is the first time in the Torah that we are told to be holy because God is holy, right? This idea of being fit and proper is a connection to how we find holiness within ourselves, because being holy means we recognize our innate capacity to be unique, to be special, to be powerful in our own right. So I hope that you can take that understanding of kashrut into your life as we begin to slowly prepare for the next phase of our experience in this country and in this world as we move through coronavirus. So Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Rabbi.
Aleinu begins on the bottom of page 282.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Mourner's Kaddish can be found on page 294. And so I want to read off the names of those in our community who have passed away during this past month, and of course, whose yahrzeits occur on this Shabbat as well. And of course, also want to, before I read this list, recognize that there are people within our own community, family members of people in our community, and of course, over 150,000 people around the world who have died of coronavirus. And so especially thinking of those families as well during this time and those people. But we remember those who passed away from our community in this past month: Les Bateman, Sue Dorff, Marty Feldman, Sylvia Fox, Paul Goldberg, Fred Goldman, Martin Grover, Beverly Jacobs, Ethel Kane, Lawrence Larry Cartagainer, Robert Klein, William Sandy Lockheim, Jerome Muchin, John Ressler, Betty Rosenberg, Shirley Schwartz, Auralia Martinez Tapia, and Ron Ziff. And the yahrzeits we're remembering today: Adrian Edelman, Irving Applebaum, Solomon Baker, Martin Barbakoff, Ronald Barbanel, Abram Barkin, Jacob Becker, Jack Becker, Ben Belitsky, Muriel Berman, Rochelle Bernstein, Milton Bloomer, Gloria Brody, Janet Burns, Joanne Chu, Betty Davids, Rivka Davidson, Freda Duick, Diana Eisner, Lillian Evans, Helen Felcher, Joanne Feldman, Robert Feldman, Beatrice Fleischer, Norma Freeman, Ernest Friedman, Rose Gaines, Eugene Galen, Corinne Goldsmith, Florence Goldstein, Peter Gold, David Goodman, Lawrence Graff, Lou Greenspoon, Bernal Grossman, Rose Handelsman, Bernard Harris, Deanne Indersky, Mitchell Carlin, Fayette Carpel, Sarah Kleiman, Evelyn Cosberg, Suzanne Krakow, Elaine Krasnow, Frank Krevin, Edith Leonard, Pamela Lever, Alice Levy, Betty Levy, Helen Levy, Shirley Levy, Clara Lichtenstein, Judy Lipsit, Amiram Luri, Mabube Masachi, Jack Mizrashi, Helen Morris, Richard Mosk, Dustin Mullins, Lillian Naiman, Charles Nevels, Rivka Knight, Melinda Notkin, Ben Pivo, Genevieve Polip, David Rand, Joseph Ross, Rose Reeves, Phyllis Rishover, Terry Rogers, Ethel Rosenfield, Ellie Rottenberg, Richard Rothstein, Samuel Roth, Rhoda Sarnett, Arthur Schreiber, Evelyn Schuschman, Mildred Schwartz, Rita Sabalski, David Siegel, Herman Traeger, Richard Sloan, Ruth Coper Stern, Olga Stock, Jacob Strassman, Michael Selesky, Rose Tarshish, Cecilia Ullman, Sandy Ullman, Louis Wallace, Rosalind Weinberg, Russell Weinstein, Jacob Winteratz, and Molly Withrack. If you're thinking of any other names, offer those names in your heart or even say them out loud as you remember them and as we continue now with Mourner's Kaddish, page 294. Yidkadal vi kadash shemei Rabba, ve'alma divrach hirute ve'amlich malchute, b'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye d'chol Beit Yisrael, ba'galav vizman kari v'imru, amen. Yehi shmei Rabba mevrach leolam olmei olmaya, yitbarach v'ishtabach v'pa'ar v'tromam v'itnaseh, v'tadar v'taleh v'talal shemei d'kudisha brichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru, amen. Yehi shlama Rabba min shemaya, v'chaim alenu ve'el kol Yisrael v'imru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom, alenu ve'el kol Yisrael v'imru, amen.
Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru, imru, amen. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
Again, Francesca, Mazel Tov to you and your whole family, those who are with you, and then those who are virtually surrounding you, and our whole community celebrating you this Shabbat. And of course, Cantor Gurney, thank you for your amazing voice and for leading us as always. You can find all kinds of other opportunities from the community on our website, wbtla.org/WBT at home. Many other things going on in addition to our Shabbat services every Friday night and Saturday morning, lots of learning opportunities and more to come. So look forward to praying and learning and being with you as a community in the weeks to come, and wishing you all a Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.